because they dropped 5.92%.
And buy the dip.
Yeah, and I was just like, fuck,
They'll be back. They'll be back.
God damn. So yeah, no.
I'm a fan of buying the dip.
Yeah.
But
that's what he was telling me.
If it goes down 15, if something's down 15%, 20%, that's when you go in.
Exactly.
It's gonna come back.
He was laughing because it's like, it's always when things are the worst, that's the best time to buy.
That's your moment.
And I was like,
that's
God,
your moment.
What if I did start investing right before COVID? I would have
totally
been pretty set.
Totally.
By the way, guys, what's up? Segment number 3, not 6, 3. During the little break, we were talking about stock markets. I do want to have a gentleman come into this podcast with me, and we're going to be talking about the stock trade and how much money you could be gaining within the future. And thankfully, of course, John knows a bit about that. So I'll definitely ask him a couple questions on that. But where we left off, actually, during the break, something that he was telling me, very, very important that you were telling me, was I showed you my Instagram page, my band's Instagram page. And at the top of it, it has our name, and it says Alternative Metal Band from Santa Fe. And you said that's not good enough. So it goes back into that hook, right?
I think so.
It would be better to be like, what's up, guys, or can't wait to meet you, or
I like that you're trying to basically do a quick good hit about what you are.
Yeah.
That's right. That's good thinking. You're basically laying it on the table there.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
good. Here's where we're from. Here's who we are. But I might say, just a quick idea would be,
take your time.
A wild and fun alternative metal band from Santa Fe. That might not be your brand, but I'm just trying to put some energy into it and give it a little positioning.
Yeah, and I see that.
So a kick out. I mean, you wouldn't say that, but I'm trying to find
a fun word.
An adjective. Yeah.
Yeah.
What this gets at branding. An alternative metal band from Santa Fe. There's no brand there. That's just the plain Jane description.
Yeah.
So when you want to talk about brand, which is a word that gets thrown out a lot, but that's another thing you can do in addition to your marketing plan. If you're really kind of starting out, or you're looking to kind of do a reboot, in addition to that marketing plan we were talking about earlier, come up with your brand. And it doesn't need to be like this big crazy thing, but one of the exercises I do with people when we're trying to come up with a brand is just sort of like, what words are we and what words are we not? So you might say, wild yes, but lunatic no, or lunatic yes, and the whole thing is coming up with what we are and what we aren't, and what colors that we are and what colors we aren't, what adjectives we are and what we're not, what that's the brand. Is what are the qualities? What are the personality?
Immediately, what comes to mind is something that would involve vampires and blood and fangs. Because have you seen Queen of the Damned?
No.
It's a vampire movie, and the band is called Inviting the Damned, and we have this like vampire feel.
There you go.
With the movie.
Yeah,
so it's just like, we're very connected to the fangs, and like we want to suck your blood, and we're damned because we're vampires, we're immortal. So every time we get someone new to the show, it's like, welcome to the damned family. And so with you saying all of that, like a bunch of ideas came to mind, which branding, like we are vampires, like come to our party, we don't bite.
And
hard,
then exactly, because even if your brand is vampire and horror. Yeah. Are you going to do it with a sense of humor and a tongue in your cheek from time to time, or a wink of the eye, or are you going to do it with full blood, guts, or or something in between, or a little bit of both? But once you decide that, then the images on your website and the words that you use to describe yourself in the various channels and the other ways that you present yourself, it's all going to be revolving around that axis of here's who we are and here's who we aren't. And so you make those decisions up front, and it allows you to start to define a personality, which just makes it easier to execute all those different items in that marketing plan. That's going to get you to your next steps of goal, the next goals that you have.
I like that. Yeah.
And you don't confuse people. Oh, I thought these guys were all about, this, and then the brand allows people to identify what you're offering, who you are, and what to expect from you. And it can be a lot more important in consumer goods, and in it can be a little less important with a band. I mean, the main thing is you put that music out there and they like it or not.
Right.
But you still want to have a sense of brand and a sense of identity, who you are and who you aren't, because it really does help inform that style and that face that you put out to the world. And
would it be fair to think or assume that if we did connect blood and vampires into our theme, into our who we are, that we might have a shot at getting a brand deal with Spirit Halloween? And their Feins.
Sure.
Yeah. We can get a deal where we wear them on stage, and we're advertising them, getting what is it, a deal, a brand deal?
Yeah. Product placement or endorsement.
Endorsement. Yeah. There you go. Where we get paid to be using their equipment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That comes from that kind of, whether it was totally conscious branding or it was just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah.
But the more conscious you are about it, the more you're setting yourself up to make those deals, to make those relationships. You see it all the time. You see on TV or whatever all the time, or social media all the time, companies that say, hey, this band, this comedian, this artist, this athlete, they represent the kind of vibe that we're about and that we want to associate with. That happens all the time.
And then they get associated with Gatorade, Voss bottled water,
everything, just everything.
Reebok gear.
Sure.
Yeah, makes
absolutely.
sense.
And and you're right. There could be it could be a movie is looking. There could be a movie that is looking to have, a really goth or a really vampired out band. They need a band to be in a scene, or whatever, and you could get their attention by having the right. By playing the game right.
The look, yeah.
Or it could be, like you say, there could be a music equipment company or that is wanting to identify with that crowd and appeal to that crowd. So they'll say, if you put this in your video or you play this instrument, we'll hook you up. Or it could be one of the big dogs in that genre is coming through. They're playing Albuquerque, they're playing Phoenix, and you could be totally in line to get a sweet opening gig. One of the best things that could happen for a young band is getting that right opening gig.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a home run because
that's what we've been working for. Yeah.
So one of the ways you do that is by having a particular look and a particular sound that's going to appeal either to that band or to the booking agent, the venue, people who are able to make those decisions.
That's really curious. Yeah, that branding, the look, we have what you need type of energy is really important. Do you know Liquid Death by any chance?
I don't.
No, they're a water company, but instead of plastic bottles, they're in aluminum cans. And so my idea has been for a while to sign up with them, and the reason I haven't is because, and actually, just out of curiosity, to become a member of Liquid Death, you have to sign a contract and sell your soul. But then they have 13 pages of legal shit, and I'm just like, wait a minute, are you fucking with me? Just haha. Or if I really put my name down and in the future I make some kind of money, are you legally allowed to take something from me? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I've been worried. Should I sign up with a fake name? I don't fucking know.
I don't like the sound of it. I mean, I'm a privacy advocate. I'm really big on our digital rights and our privacy rights, and there's any number of platforms I've removed myself from because I'm just not comfortable with those agreements. I know most everybody just waves them off.
Right
And
on,
all our stuff is is hijacked all the time. But what I would say is you should at least read it. I know it's 13 pages of small print, but I'd read it. And I would never sell my soul. William Burroughs said, anybody knows the devil's bargain is a fool's bargain. You can't sell your soul for riches here on earth. That's a fool's bargain. Keep your soul.
It's like selling candy for a house or candy for gold. It's like two different realms. I mean, they're both physical, but
That's
whatever.
the one thing that's one of the things that you can't bargain with.
Fuck.
I say.
That's so curious.
Yeah.
I might actually read it and like go through it with you. Fuck. Well, I had this other question. But honestly, I like. What other pieces of advice for a solo singer songwriter, like. If you continued playing guitar, because you played guitar when you were younger.
Still do.
Still do.
Every day.
No, shit, seriously.
All the time.
And so your poetry's on your website.
A little bit of it.
And is your guitars playing as well?
No.
Oh, you should.
I was thinking about
I'm curious.
One of my really close songwriting friends and brothers in music died earlier this year, and I may post a. It's just a cover song. I haven't been able to write anything for him yet, but I was thinking about actually just performing. I learned a kind of a difficult song in his honor and a song that he liked, and I may post a video of that over the holidays.
That'd be dope.
I do want to do more of that. I'm not a big fan of my singing. That's what keeps me from putting those videos up on the website. I don't have the voice that I want. And
they have auto-tune.
I'll try it. I've gotten better over the years. I've gotten from like unlistenable to I'm not sure,
decent.
like maybe not horrible or something, but I listen to these great singers and I just feel like if I can't do that, I need to
Don't be discouraged.
Maybe I'll put instrumentals up on the website.
I mean, that's really not
Nothing
a bad
wrong
idea.
with that.
And you can always sell them to other artists that want to like put vocals on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have music out there that we can actually listen to?
My friend, who's gone now, he would sing and perform the songs that I've written. But
cool.
I don't think that I have some old tapes, but I don't know if he ever I don't think he videoed anything. He would just play, he played clubs and bars and whatever.
Dope.
So I don't have, good copies of that. So no, the music, I've always been very, very serious about writing. And I'm serious about music too, but I've never fallen into the right groove where I've produced tracks or played with a band. I'm still waiting to find my band.
Right.
It hasn't happened. And I haven't worked it hard at all, but I like the dumb musician. I keep talking about these lazy musicians. They keep thinking the world will come to them.
Yeah.
And so I keep thinking, I'm going to walk into Candyman or wherever, and I'm going to find my music partner. It's just going to happen. Well, that's a really stupid way to, it doesn't work that way. It'd be nice, but the least I could do is put my card on the board, or enter a Craigslist post and say, let's rock and roll hard and long and major. But I've also been very, very busy, and so I haven't put that front and center. But no, it's the music. I've just sort of let that be joyous and not so goal oriented, and just to play it. And whereas the poetry, I'm working on books and stuff like that, and I finish things up. And I've got a whole manuscript. I got a poetry manuscript, and I got another book I'm trying to jumpstart and get moving faster. Of prose.
Can the links to find your books, are those available on your website?
The books are manuscript. They're not published yet. So the poetry, a manuscript is a draft. A manuscript. I've got like a book of poems that's ready to go. I just have to fire it off to some publishers or decide how I'm going to finally execute that.
Curious.
But it's like it's ready. It's a manuscript. The other book is nascent. I'm like circling the wagons on it, trying to get it lassoed and ready to go.
Want to perfect it before you put it out there, or put
I'm a major perfectionist to a fault.
Believe me, I get it. It's such a pain in the ass. Yeah. That's why none of my original music is out there. I'm like, no, that's not great yet. No, that's not good. No, the bass needs to be edited. No, this and that. I'm just like, that's why I like being in a band, because like my job is just vocals. Just focus on the vocals. Let her play guitar. Let him play the bass. I just do vocals. But like with my music, where I do the bass, I do the drums, I do the guitar, I do the vocals. It's just like
it's probably for the better. I mean,
God.
There is that old saw of don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I mean, you can get to a point where you're not getting your stuff out in the world or finishing it, and you have to be mindful of that. But I think you need to be your own harshest critic, and you need to be a perfectionist. I think that's a good quality to have. There's just a ton of mediocrity out there, and I think you should always be pushing yourself to take things to a higher level. And again, if you're if the years go by and you've got all these unfinished tracks, then you got to have a talk with yourself. But but I like the sound of that. I think you should aim high and push yourself and not settle for the world doesn't need any more okay tunes.
No, there's plenty of
that,
and especially on YouTube too.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, that's the exact fucking term.
Yeah, do something awesome while you're here.
So something that I really want to get into because while we were on break, my biggest thing was because of the fact that I'm a millennial.
Yeah,
emails haven't become such a priority,
right?
But at the same time, it's like it is a more intimate traction with fans, because you were saying as soon as they get into that email, it shows.
It's a dedicated. You've got their attention. Yes, they're in their inbox, and so there's other emails, but when somebody's scrolling through a feed, you have every chance in the world of them not being able to deal with your Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, TikTok. It's a very competitive space, and even if they check you out, then they're going to keep scrolling.
Yeah.
And email is more individual. Once they've signed on to your list, they've opted in, they've said they want to hear from you in a bigger way than following you on a platform, I think.
They want to know updates.
Yeah,
where you're going to be.
Hit me with your message. You follow somebody. Sometimes you follow somebody and you want to see every post they make.
Yeah.
But a follow is a lighter thing than opting into an email list.
Makes sense.
So what I like about email is this older technology, like you say, but it's really survived the test of time. You can do very, very powerful things with it, and almost every entity out there has an email list. I'm on the email list of any number of bands.
Cool.
And sometimes they're like, okay, whatever, you're releasing this thing that I already bought years ago, whatever, now you're re-releasing it. But other times they tell me, oh, they're back on tour. Like with Corona, they were like, hey, we're finally going back on tour.
Yeah.
Those gigs we canceled, or we've got a new release, or there's a book about us, or here's a new video. We just did this benefit, and here's a thing. And I might not have heard about it from their feed.
From Facebook, Instagram.
Might have missed it,
Got you.
And so I just think it's not to be overlooked. You got to have a website anyway, and so have an email sign up thing on the website, and just have that as part of your arsenal. It's lasted too long and it's too good. And again, like we were saying, it's that individual hit. It's not part of the feed or a stream, and it's a keeper too. Like I'll keep that if somebody emails me about a gig, then I kind of keep that in my phone and I see it as I scroll around. It serves as a reminder. Or you email somebody and it links. You can actually put a calendar link in there, and and you can do that in other in social media too. But I would say, leave no stone unturned. Have a game for each platform. Have a web game, have a social media game, have a text game, have an email game.
Gotcha.
And opt people in, and then if they say unsubscribe, of course, respect that, take care of that right away, and the software does it automatically for you.
Does it automatically? Like,
well, if you use something like MailChimp, which is great, which is awesome. There's other tools out there, but MailChimp I use, and if somebody presses you have to have an unsubscribe at the bottom. That's the law.
Okay.
And that's easy. MailChimp puts it in there for you automatic. If somebody says, oh man, Taylor's emailing me every day, and I've had enough, I got to take a break. I'm unsubscribing, and you shouldn't be emailing every day, of course. They'll hit unsubscribe, and your list will update automatically. And so the next time you send out a blast, you won't hit them up and be violating spam laws.
So that chimp what?
MailChimp.
MailChimp.
Yeah. Good one. There's others, but it's a good one.
That's an app or a website?
It's a, I guess you could call it a website. They may have, I don't know if MailChimp has an app, but it's like a web service. And there's a free version and there's a paid version. The free version does a lot. And the paid is if you really get into like bigger operations. But you can make the free version work for you easily. And especially in the beginning. And so you just go on their website, sign up, and then you load in your contacts, and you can link it to your webpage. So your webpage has an email sign-up list, and then somebody signs up. Like I go on your website, John at johnfeins.com, and that'll go into your MailChimp your MailChimp list automatically.
So when I'm assuming myself because I do it. When I type out an email saying, "Hey, we got this next show coming up. We just printed this new T-shirt, and we just got these new stickers. Blah 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 blah." I'm assuming that I can just have that typed and just send all, right? It'll be everyone who is signed up with.
Yes. Well, you can have the other thing you can do. You'll have your main list, but sometimes you. This might not be a beginner thing as much, but if you start to have an audience, you can have different lists. You can have the everything list, or you can have just gigs, or just, sometimes you'll see that sometimes when you sign up with somebody, they have you sign up for different types of emails. I don't know if you've seen that, but some people do that because some folks don't, they want you to be able to pick what you want to receive.
Got it.
Most starting up bands, it's going to be just one list, but you have the opportunity to segment them. You might have fans in California because you go out there once a year. They don't want to hear about all your New Mexico gigs.
Yeah.
And so you might be able to segment. That's maybe the second level. But the Chimp will have all your emails. But then the other thing it does is it lets you format emails that you're going to blast out very easily. And you can drop in a picture, you can change the font, you can put in the link, if you're linking it right to your product page or your ticket sale page or whatever it is.
Right.
So it has a way to set up those emails very easily, and you can test them, which I love. I'll send a test email to myself. I put in my name, I send the test email, and I look at it, make sure it looks cool, make sure the links work, make sure there's no typos. Do the test. Yeah. It's cool. Oh, I need to tweak this. That's wrong.
Right.
Fix it. Test it again. It's good. Then I send it out to my list.
I love that.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's easy.
It's kind of blowing my mind how involved I am in music that I've never gone onto a band's website.
Ooh.
I've never went onto an artist's website.
Wow.
Never went onto a comedian's, an actor, anyone's.
Wow.
I know their Instagrams, I know their Facebooks, some of their TikToks.
Interesting.
But never a website. I don't know if it's a question, but it's probably just me because I haven't reached out to that.
Well, everybody's getting all their info from social now.
Right? Yeah, that's like the primary.
But it doesn't have all of, I can't go to somebody's Instagram page to see when the hell are they going to play within 500 miles of Santa Fe, You want to check out the tour. And so I go to the band's page to see their tour dates. That's one of the reasons I go to a page. I don't go to bands' pages all the time, but if I want to see what's up, again, one of them, the big things might be a tour, or I might just want to see have they released anything or whatever. It's not something I do a lot of.
Yeah.
But I definitely go there if I first of all, if they keep it interesting, if they put videos or if they put blogs, which a lot of them don't, but if they do, if they update it with content regularly, then I'll check it out. But I think those tour dates is one of the bigger reasons I might go. Yeah.
Well, probably another dumb question. When you say blog, is that like a typed up segment?
Any kind of message. Yeah.
Any message.
Blog is the generic term for it. I don't like that word. But what you might like. Sometimes an artist might have tour diary, and they're just talking about stuff they're on tour, and then they post a diary or a blog, whatever the hell they want to call it, and they're just putting like, yeah, we had this great gig, and they'll show some pictures from the city they're in, or they'll tell a funny story.
Yeah, like love the city, great cheeseburger, appreciate it.
So and so solo
Dante
last
for
night
coming up on stage.
was the bomb. Check it out.
Yeah, like a little backstory. Like, it was sick. If you guys are interested in having this experience, we're gonna be in your town tomorrow, and that's what
Tour diary.
Yeah.
Other times, every now and then, guitars I admire will put instruction videos or little shop talk about their equipment and stuff on their site. I eat that
like
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I always
That's really
wonder
smart
what
to
pedals
have.
they're using, or if there's any shop talk, I'm all about it. Sometimes a songwriter might talk about songs that influence them, or just break down some of their art craft.
Right.
And so that's something that's, you could do it on a YouTube video, or maybe a brief Instagram video, but that's a little more at home generally on a web
Gotcha.
page than the social.
Yeah, that's I keep thinking of the word intimate. It's just more intimate.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, I think I can't imagine not having a good functional web page if I was a band. Obviously, your social has to be there, but do a page. I mean, have a place where people can go and check you out and engage with you. They're probably going to DM you if they want to contact you. But again, if you have it's easy enough to have a web page where there's a contact page, where that press kit resides that we talked about, or your downloadable photos, or your logo, your store. If you've got some merch, you're not going to do that on Instagram. You've got to do that on your homepage.
I mean, it can, like the link, but then again, it's to a website, so we need to have a website. It kind of like all comes back to a personal website.
I think it's a foundational piece that you want.
Got you.
And it adds the, it's another thing that just shows that you're out there, that you're real, that you're happening. You register the name. You put, the website should be your band's name.
Right.
You grab that name so that no one else grabs it and does some stupid fan thing on it. So you got to register the name anyway. And
how do you go around doing that to register a name?
It's really pretty easy. GoDaddy does it. I used Namecheap for mine.
I remember.
I really liked Namecheap. I've been very happy with Namecheap. Their service is pretty strong. Their prices are fair. The web tools and all that. And so I did my domain registration through Namecheap and my website set up through Namecheap. But GoDaddy would be another one. There's a few others out there.
But Namecheap and GoDaddy are like...
Would be two that you could use and get going on, yeah.
Would those two websites be the same for a logo? Because for the last couple of years, I have a logo, and I love it. I like it. It came out of me, cool. Like it means something very special. I want a tattooed on me. Awesome. But before I get it tattooed, I want to trademark it.
Right.
So that, it's mine. I own it.
Right.
GoDaddy, and the cheap
Namecheap. That's for registering
just names.
Website URLs or domains. So TaylorToxin.com. If you wanted to nail that, you look it up, make sure it's available, purchase it, lock it down. That's for that. For trademarking a logo, oh man, it's been so long since I've done this. That's I'm drawing a blank. You got to just look it up. It's doable.
Okay.
You submit it to so and so or whatever.
Because I don't want to spend like $300 on trademarking my logo just to find out that my $300 really didn't. It was just like...
No, you got to do it right. It's pretty standard. People do it all the time. Forgive me for drawing a blank on that.
No, that's okay.
But if you look it up, you'll find the proper mechanism for that.
I have, and that's the problem.
You haven't been able to...
And every single one is just asking me for like a couple $100, but I don't know. I'm not guaranteed that money is going to give me my logo.
That it's legit. Let me check it out for you. I'll check it out. I'll be able to. I've done it before, and I'm just drawing a blank.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll talk about it in the future.
Yeah.
And then I might be able to like add it into the description in the YouTube or the Instagram in the future. But that's definitely something. If someone out there doesn't have a communications advisor, somebody that they want someone to talk to rather than looking it up on the internet, how comfortable are you for them to contact you,
Oh,
email you, call you.
Totally,
Like,
yeah. I love to give back and
Yeah.
share information. Yeah.
and
people-
the best way to do that is through johnfines.com, right?
I'd say that's the best way. You can get
Okay.
me there. There's a contact page there, or you can just do john@johnfines.com. And but there's a
Mhm.
contact page on the website, and I love to. I had the guy who taught me the ropes in L.A. He's dead now. He got a terrible disease about 7 or 8 years ago and
Yeah.
died age 50. But he was a big time. I mean, he worked at Warner Brothers Records and was discovered a lot of bands. And his job was to be kind of like not so much a fixer, but like a developer. Like a label would be interested in a band, but they were rough around the edges,
Mm-hmm.
and he would get all their kind of game right, all their touring game, their communications game, their marketing game, their ground game, posters,
Gotcha.
flyers, get pack in the clubs when they played, like the whole things that you got to do. Not as much on the music side, but everything else. And
Okay.
he would get all that together for these bands, and take them from playing to 10 people and selling,
a couple hundred.
a few records here and there, get them to the hundreds, then get them to the thousands.
Gotcha.
And then the label would be able to sign them because the label needed to know that they could get to that level before the label was going to invest their time and money in signing them. So he knew the music business inside out, and knew everybody and all
What-
that. He taught me all these
that's
techniques.
big, yeah.
and for how to do some of this stuff. And so I'm
What-
always happy to.
What does it take to get signed with a label? Because I've had a couple conversations with my
Yeah.
friends and whatnot, but coming from someone who is closer to that area, like what are like the biggest
Well,
things?
It's changed.
Can you get views? Are you entertaining?
Well,
Can you
they're-
engage with the crowd? I'm assuming those are like big
Well,
qualifications.
it changed some years ago when the record labels all consolidated. They all got really corporate, and then they all got consolidated.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the major labels, which you probably really don't want to have anything to do with.
Yeah, this
because
is a conversation.
because basically what happened was, the prior generation, they would just sign you and then get you and then work with you. And then, and that's what happened in San Francisco, and all those bands got signed, and in LA, and just from the 60s and 70s, anybody would get signed, and then they would develop you. Once everything got corporatized and consolidated, it got to the point where somebody told me, if you're not a million seller, if you're not like a million seller, they're not going to bother with you. Like, so you could be selling 500,000 records a year,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big amount.
Sounds like
You're
a lot,
going to
yeah.
earn a serious living off that. You've made it. But the labels were at a point where they weren't even wanting to deal with that. And then there was the other factor was maybe you even got signed, but what were they going to do with you? They could sign you and then do nothing with you, and you go nowhere. Or they would sign you and then generate huge expenses in producing the record. They could produce a video for you and then bill you back $200,000 against your sales for the video. It's so I could tell you stories for days.
And then they're on
So-
the contract, so you
Yes.
can't just be like, all right, bye. Like, no, you
Exactly.
sign a contract. You have to pay us back by
Exactly.
touring, and that's the biggest. Where like, what was the thing? The Beatles never owned their music.
The Stones went through hell with Alan Klein, and there's
I don't know much about them.
yeah,
but-
look up Alan Klein and the Rolling Stones. Their whole early years were hijacked, and there's just
Oh,
1,000
imagine.
stories like that. Heartbreaking, awful stories.
How do you avoid that? I'm assuming it's by not getting into a label and being a solo.
The way to play the game is to go indie, and this means work,
Indie.
right? Independent.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're going to press up your own stuff or distribute it digitally. I say press up, I'm still thinking CDs. Now it's digital.
Well,
but
I do want to do CDs because
Yeah.
when we were recording our singles, I was saying, I want to do this album release party, and I'm going to be handing out CDs.
Good.
And this guy's like, how many people do you know that have CD players?
Right.
And I was like, shit,
Yeah.
that's right. But then at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you give out CDs? Because that's like to me, it's kind of like the email of
It's
the
a
music
physical
world.
object
Yeah, exactly.
that has art, that has value, that you put
Exactly.
into somebody's hands, person to person. People like to have a relationship with the artist.
Exactly.
They like to have contact with the artist.
So would you say that it is more of a benefit or a downfall if I were to do CDs?
I think it's worth a try. It's
Right.
not that expensive.
Okay, yeah,
And,
that's what I
and,
thought too.
and I think it's worth trying. What I would do is I would have CDs, but then I would also have thumb drive.
Yeah, that was
Or a card, a business card, which costs nothing, and you could make it really rad with your logo and your look. And the card has a website where the download is, and you could either do that
That's
through your own
smart.
website, or you could do
Okay.
it through one of these websites that has free downloads, WeTransfer or whoever. And then
Got
a
you.
card, so you give the CD to somebody who could accept the CD. And then you could either give a thumb drive if you wanted, again, to give something physical. Plus, the thumb drive could have the music that you download, and it could have pictures and other kind of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, I
So,
see.
but it would also be an expense to some degree. I don't know what it would cost 100 thumb drives of a gig or two or whatever. Probably not too bad.
Well,
But-
like I found some that were 5 megabytes, which is good for like I think 10 songs. But even like the purchase of the thumb drive itself exceeded what I would be getting out if I were to sell them.
yeah.
So that's why it's just like it's just. better
So
to
maybe
buy and
just the
hand them
CD, right? Maybe the CD, and then maybe have the download online. The
Yeah.
thumb drive is really an extra step in this day and time. You
Yeah.
just put it online.
out. Yeah,
and then
because
you
how
give
many
them
people
the
have a
URL,
computer? That's the
where
other
they
thing.
can. I don't know, but I would just the download card would be the thing. Somebody said, I can't play this. Okay, cool. Here's a card. Go download it, and there's a few
Into your
extra.
phone.
There's a few extra treats on there
Yeah.
for you too.
Who
And it
doesn't
could be
have a
like
phone?
could be videos from your podcast. It could be wacky stuff. It could be just some photos of the band, the same assets that you use for your other stuff. I would put a few goodies in there. I would have the music on the download, and then I would have a couple of just some fun things. Maybe the band just telling jokes, or I don't know, come up with something creative that's fun.
All
in
I can
addition
think
to
of
the
is
tunes.
like, if you are the 20th person to sign up, you get entry for a full month to any of our shows.
Love it.
You know what I mean? It's
Definitely.
like, ooh, like how many people? Maybe I can be one. And that's what it's like.
Definitely do stuff like that. That's great on your social feed too.
Yeah.
Contests. What was the first song that you fell in love with? What was your first concert? We'll pick some stories at random, and you'll get sticker, T-shirt, free entry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be doing that
Yeah,
stuff
free
all the
merch.
time.
Yeah.
I'd be doing that stuff
yeah.
all the time. It's engagement. The thing that so many people use social media as an advertising channel,
Yeah.
and it's such a turnoff. You should be sharing other music and just be sharing cool things on your feed.
Mhm.
Don't make it just about you. Social. The story I always say is it's social. So if we go to a party and I just start telling you about my band for 20 minutes and you're sitting there shifting your weight and I just keep going on and on about my band,
Yeah.
my poems, that's not social. That's not a party. That's not an engagement.
Yeah.
I should be telling you something about my life, and then you tell me about your life, and I'm psyched to hear, and it's that back and forth.
Right.
That's the relationship that you want to have on your social media feed and all your other things. It should be fun. It should be social. It should be like a party. We're sharing.
I like
And
that.
so have your fans post videos of their music or their stories from their life. And just
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
a party,
yeah.
make it a family, make it social. It's social media. It's not an
feel you.
advertising channel.
I went to see Panic at the Disco not too long ago, and a performer that was before him was like, "Hey guys, so shout out to the next person that's playing. If this phone number up here on these screens, if you text it, you'll get a personalized message from me and win possibly win a ticket to sit closer, free tickets for the upcoming shows, and like sneak peeks to my future stuff." And I texted, and I got feedback, and I was like, "This is sick." It makes me think of the monster truck rally, where they were like, take pictures and videos and tag us in it.
Yeah.
And that engagement is like,
That's
haven't
how
thought
you
of
play
it.
it. That's
Haven't
the way
thought of
to
it.
play it all the way.
oh my god.
People love that. That's what makes it fun and
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah.
and not just getting blasted at.
Yeah.
Especially the holiday season coming up, everybody's gonna be like doing that holiday, buy this, buy that, and then everybody's got their hand out for all the charities at the end of the year, and that's meaningful and that's good, but it also just becomes so overwhelming, and so I love that fun engagement aspect of things. That's the fun of it.
Yeah,
because
I
there's
agree.
work. It's work to build up a channel. It's work to build up followers. To respect it when they send you a comment or a question. You have to, there's all this work that goes into being a successful musician or a successful artist. And the work aspect of it is why a lot of them fail. Is they can't deal, or they won't put in the time, or they just won't do it. And yet it's essential. But the way that you turn that work aspect on its head is by making it engaging and fun and successful for you and successful for your audience. And so you turn the work into something that has fun and reward to it.
Got you. I really like that. All I can think about is how I'm going to be using it for next year. You know what I mean? Or even the summer. Honestly.
And make that plan. Yeah. Again, the plan isn't God. You don't have to follow it.
Yeah.
But if you set a plan with small achievable goals, and okay, we're going to be doing this on Valentine's Day, and then when spring comes, I want to do spring break, and we want to get people who are in Santa Fe on spring break to come to our show. And then so you set all that up, and with small achievable goals, and then like I say, and then you're going to visit it every week or every month and tweak it as necessary. What's working, what's not working, where do I need to put more energy in, what's changing. But so like you're seeing the possibilities, but get them on paper and or get them in a spreadsheet, whatever works for you.
That's visual, and you can see
and be checking it. What am I been doing, and what's working, and what do I got to step up on, and what's coming up? Oh shoot, I was busy eating Christmas pie, and now Valentine's is coming up in 2 weeks, and I don't have a plan for my Valentine's song or my Valentine's message or my Valentine's giveaway, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But Valentine's is a great time to let all those holidays, all those special days of the year and special times of the year, those are things you want to be on top of and have a communication plan for, small or large. But don't let them go by without playing it.
Yeah. I think I let this year go probably.
Sure, we all do. We all do, man.
Fuck, I hate it.
We all do.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's why you try to get a plan.
Yeah.
Put in reminders and check dates and meetings to check it. And it sounds dry and
but
that's how we keep our shit together.
Like I tell my band all the time. It's like this is not just a hobby, but this is this is what I plan to do as a career. Like I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yep.
So
exactly.
like these little pointers that you're giving us are very crucial, and to the people that actually put them to use will see
they're the winners.
Success of it. Because I've done some of it, but I haven't done it to like 100%. Like I did 50%, like a video with the band. Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna be playing here, blah blah blah. But I didn't push it hard enough, or I didn't make the video giggly enough.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put a hook.
Yep.
That wasn't enough. So fuck, man. What the fuck? Before we end on the third segment, are there any other crucial pieces of advice for any artist or people out there that want to put out their stuff? Because we went through social media, be active on that, make sure to be posting, email lists, make sure to be engaged. And then physically, of course, too. Like I print out flyers and I walk around the mall and I'm like, here.
I was so psyched when you told me you did that. That is the ground game. That has to be done.
Well, yeah, because they see your face and they hear your tone and they see you smile and it's like, hey, come to my band.
Yes.
That guy, that's him. You know what I mean? It's like it creates that bond.
I'm telling you, that's what my man. One of the things my man Tim told me, the record guy, he was like, he demanded his bands went out and pressed the flesh and handed things out at the mall and at the wherever was right. Where, parks and scenes, wherever they thought that their audience would be hanging out on a Saturday or something.
4th of July, bro. I still regret it to this day. We were missing two of our members, but we went to go see the fireworks. And I kept thinking, man, it would be nice to have these flyers and just be like, hey,
boom,
hey,
totally,
hey,
totally.
hey.
You need a box of that in your
perfect.
car every time.
All the time.
Because you might be like just going to the supermarket and then, here's like this really cool person, and I know how you like to chat up really cool people.
Everybody,
and you're good at it, and so that's something that you've got going for you. You're not the introverted musician, or you're not the, kind of guy who looks like a computer programmer but actually can really play bass. You're a unique looking guy, friendly, outgoing
Appreciate
guy.
it.
And so that's a big plus.
Right.
And so anywhere you are at any time, that opportunity, if somebody looks at you and smiles, or just you have a moment, boom, then you give them that
like,
flyer.
Hey, by the way, just that might be.
And that's right. And so, and you've got your social, and that's where the website comes in, because the website's on there, and somebody's like, well, I like that dude, I like his vibe, this looks cool. The website is going to be a place where they can get a lot of information in addition to checking out your social feeds.
Got
so
it.
Just one more way that works. Those flyers, those postcards, the business card with the download.
The business card. That's what I was thinking. Because when the event ends, I have all these flyers and I don't know what to do with them.
Right.
So the best thing is to have like our logo, our website, our social media, and on the back, like fangs and blood coming down. You know what I mean? They see that and they're like hooked. Like I will never forget that.
Yes.
That's super important.
Yes. Visuals. It's a visual world. You need to look great, and not just you as an artist and your product, but also all of your stuff.
Exactly.
Your social feed, the banner you use for your Instagram, banner for your Facebook. It's got to be rad. And then you want to rotate it from time to time. So you want to have the cool Thanksgiving one or the cool Christmas one. The cool July 4th, what's your firework game going to be? Have again, for that marketing plan, you'd be like, okay, we want to change the banner 4 times a year, 8 times a year. When is it going to be? What is the cool idea? And who's our rad artist? Or how are we going to get that killer asset, that
Jenna,
digital asset?
Shout out to you.
Yeah, you got to have those people in your life. The visual graphic people. They got the Rolling Stones. I mean, I know I'm going old school here, but that tongue. The tongue of the Rolling Stones. I mean, that has kicked ass for them for
years.
Oh my! You see that tongue, and it's like boom. It's Mick, it's Keith, it's Satisfaction, Jumpin' Jack Flash. Yeah. The whole vibe, the whole thing.
And it's been changed.
And they changed
so many times. But as soon as you see it, you think of the original immediately. They got it from them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's cute. A grand slam, but that's what you're aiming for.
Right.
And even if you can't create a Rolling Stones tongue for your brand and your band, and you're aiming and you're shooting for it. Exactly. That definable look, that great cool thing. I mean, and that it was Jagger's lips, but it was also like the sort of lascivious thing, the sexy thing, and it was also Mick, but it just had the spirit of the band of like we're partying, our tongue is out, we're getting it on. It represented them, and so. And that was back in the 70s or whatever when they did that. Now it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah. Now your visual game.
Oh my God, TikTok. We didn't even get started on that one.
Gotta do it.
I have my band's TikTok, but I'm waiting to finish our singles.
Cool.
So that, because I have a bunch of clips. I got my GoPros right there. I just started using it. And I just want to get all these shots from shows and band practice.
I think it's smart to line it up before. Don't start shooting from the hip. Don't be on there just to be on there and be mediocre. I think it's fine to line it up and have a game plan. Have your first 10, 12, 20 posts thought out, and then get it ready and take TikTok by storm. Why? That's better.
Okay, cool.
I'd rather say, I've told clients this. I'd rather you not be on Instagram than have an Instagram that you haven't posted in a month and a half, and the stuff you did a month and a half ago got 3 engagements. It doesn't look all that great. It's better that you're not on there.
Yeah, no, I understand. Because it just shows that
you're not happening.
Yeah.
You have no game. You're not happening.
God,
that's the last thing in the world you can afford. It's work.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah,
it's hard, but it's doable. And it's easier now, like we talked about a minute ago, we talked about the labels and how they would screw you and what a rat race that was and how many killer bands didn't make it. Well, those days are gone now, And so Daddy Label isn't going to do all this for you, but at the same time, now you control your own destiny.
Yep.
Now these tools, these laptops and these social platforms and
Cell phones,
digital distribution, these
everything.
phones, this is the godsend to artists. This is a dream.
Yeah.
Now you are in control of producing, distributing, and promoting your deal to the world from a phone that fits in your pocket or a laptop that you carry around or a tablet.
Yeah,
So,
it fits in a backpack.
so now you've got that power. It's there, and you can make it happen. The only thing is you have to get good at it and you have to put in the time. That's the price of that freedom and that possibility. That's it.
I love it. I really do. Are there any points or topics that I didn't touch on that are like a little... He's like, there's a lot, dude. There's a whole lot.
Well,
but
that's a lot.
if you guys are interested, go to johnfeins.com and talk to this gentleman. He's a very smart guy.
Because the one thing I would add, there's other things, but we've actually covered a lot. And then those are the generalities.
Mm-hmm.
The next key though is what's your specific deal and what's your specific goal. Some bands would be happy just to be getting gigs locally and selling a little bit of product. Other people want to take the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so
not even like the world to where like we're
yeah.
globally known, but like
you'd like to have.
I want to tour to Canada,
yes.
to China,
North America. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
That's another thing that Tim told me is the first thing you figure out is what somebody's goal is, because not everybody wants to put in all the work it takes to become a national act.
Yeah.
Or your goal might be, you might not be fixing to quit your day job and you just want to have smaller goals to augment your day job. Most musicians want to drop the day job.
Yeah.
But some people say, hey, if I could make $60K a year and make rent and eat, I'd be over the moon.
Yeah.
Other dudes
pay rent, feed your children.
That's a lot of people's goal. And so that informs the marketing plan. And that informs these things that you do. If your goal is bigger than that, no problem. But then so the first thing you do is figure out your goal, then you figure out your marketing and promotion plan. And so the one thing I would say that we haven't covered is every band has their own goal and has their own situation. Being in Albuquerque, New Mexico is different than being in LA or Chicago, et cetera, et cetera. And then somebody might be, like you said at the very beginning, somebody could be a writer, they could be a potter, they could be an architect. There's lots of different things that people do. And so we've covered a lot of helpful generalities about how to get what you're doing out into the world. But it's very important that you figure out your specific goals and your specific situation, and then either on your own or through talking with people, figure out some very specifics of what will apply to your situation. Maybe again, I would think that everybody should have an Instagram and a website and a Facebook and a YouTube, etc. But it's important to take a good look at your specific goals and your specific situation, and make sure that you're tailoring your action steps, your 2023 plan, according to your specific situation, and getting some advice on that, rather than saying, I can't come up with a Stones logo, I'm dead. Like, no, you don't need to be the Stones.
Right.
So figure out your goals, your situation, and then talk with people, network with people, or check out places online where you can figure out where the action is in your particular space, your particular location, and your particular goals. It is important to get into the specifics as you go forward. Like maybe you just want to focus on just a specific record release, or that's fine, or maybe you're a touring act and you're not big on product, and so then how does your specific goals inform your next action steps to make it happen?
Makes sense. Makes tremendous sense. Honestly, because those like future, the plans for the future are like crucial. If you don't have them, then like you said, we're just expecting it to come to us.
That's the big trap. And so set goals. I want to get a record out in the first quarter of 2023. It's going to have 6 songs, 8 songs, 10 songs, 3 songs. We've got this, and then I want to release it in the first quarter of 2023. I'd like to sell, it's going to cost us X, I'd like to sell this many copies to make X times 2 or X times 3 or X back.
Right.
You know, these are the, you know, this is kind of, I'm willing to do, I have this much touring I can do, I have this much budget to promote it with, whatever, and here's what we're going to do. Here's what I think a good plan is to make that record come out at that time, how we're going to promote it, how we're going to get it in front of influential people, and how we're going to make money back through touring, through sales, through whatever other things you want to do to promote it. Break it down into specific, achievable steps. Write those down and then visit those every week or every couple of weeks, see how you're doing, make adjustments as you need to based on your progress and what's happening.
Cool. I want to ask these questions, but at the same time, it's like these questions are really personal based. Because I have a thing where it's like, let's go, and then no disrespect if my band is listening to this. Some of them are like, relax, you know, take it easy, we'll get there. And I'm like, no, let's fucking do this now. And so I think
that's a common kind of difference in dynamic. And
yeah. So. I don't know where my question lies in that. Is it good that I have that mentality?
Yes, it's essential.
And then, how can I make that cooperate positively with a dynamic that is like, hey, I'll do this tomorrow when I want it done today.
Right. Well, what I would do, you know, you're in a band, and so there's going to be some give and take and some compromise and some, you know, coming to. So again, this is where that marketing plan, and you don't have to call it a marketing plan. You could call it a communication plan, action plan, whatever you want to call it. But if you have a band meeting, and they say, okay, we're going to map out 2023 as best we can. We know things will change, and this is adjustable. This is not the 10 Commandments, chiseled in stone. But let's make here, what are our goals? And then agree on some goals, and then agree on the steps necessary to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
And agree on a schedule and action steps that are in the happy middle. Or I'm going to be the flyer mad dog, you know, and I'm going to do that, you know, either split it up amongst the different band members or come to an agreement as to what an appropriate action plan is for the tour dates, for the releases, for the creating of a website or creating of whatever you're looking to do in 2023 or whatever the focus that you want to make is. Whatever it doesn't have to be a perfect year, but whatever your action plan is going to be. I think that's an opportunity to have a meeting and set things down and come to a fairly agreeable, peaceable consensus. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yo, it is 10:10. I think we started at like 9:15 or like 9:13. I'm not really sure. I don't want to be cut off in the middle of a sentence. So, dude, fucking thank you, man. God damn. Hopefully some of that information is going to be helping you guys out. Hopefully you put it into, you know, your own method of whatever you're doing. Hopefully that helps out. And again, for the third time, if you guys want to get in contact with this gentleman, johnfeins.com, Facebook, Instagram, anything else?
I'm off them right now.
I assume so because of the privacy policy.
Yeah,
you know,
and also
like, you have to give your whole phone
they
to
eat
them.
up all my time.
Yeah.
And to do it right, and when the books come out, I'm going to have to get back on them.
Yeah.
But right now, I've got them on pause because I'm always advising other people about their feeds. And,
Yeah. I wouldn't have social media if it wasn't for the band.
There you
Like,
go.
I spend too
There you
much
go.
fucking time on this, but because of the advertisement, I'm like...
Insta was like an hour and a half or 2 a day. It was going great. I was having a ball. I was getting all these engagements, but it was like 2 hours a day. That's why my books aren't written. Crap like that. So,
I love it.
You know, so I'm on pause on the social.
God damn. So, guys, again, johnfeins.com. Talk to this gentleman. Keep up. He's going to be coming out with some music, hopefully, and some poetry on his website. Check it out. Fuck, that was informational. Anything else before we get off? Anything else you want to tell the fans out there?
You know, ride the dream.
Ride the
Dream big.
And
dream
be smart
big
about
and
it.
do the work.
Don't assume it's going to come to
Nothing
do
will
the
come
work.
to you. Can take control of your destiny and use these magnificent space age sorcery tools that the geeks from Silicon Valley have given us.
Yes.
Master them like you master your guitar, or you master your pen or your paintbrush. Master these electronic tools, and you'll lose your day job, and be sitting on the couch here telling Taylor Nation how you did it. Now you're making all this money and having all this fun.
It's because of him, honestly. Like, I'm trying to make waves, but this guy is like, yo, you guys are gonna see fucking waves. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Much appreciated. I love everybody here. Thank you for tuning in. Any Boros Yus? What? What are you talking about? Shades of Divinity? Anyways, whatever. Yeah, that's it, guys. Hopefully that was not too much for you guys' capacity. I mean, I'm going to be coming back to this podcast because there's a lot of key points in here.
There's a lot. Yeah,
you
can't just kind of...
And there's more.
Over. Well, to really get good at Instagram, you got to figure it out. And there's things that aren't readily apparent. Like you'll learn like certain types of shots of your band get lots of engagements, and other types of shots for whatever reason don't. Like you gotta observe what's happening.
The views, the likes, the engagement.
What about us? It could be the drummer. People are clicking when the drummer. Try different things out and figure out what's happening.
Sick. All right, guys, 10:13. I think I'm pretty close to an hour. Yeah, that's it. I don't know who's coming next Monday because my calendar kind of got fucked up. So, like always, if you or someone you know deserves a little bit of a spotlight on this podcast, hit me up on Instagram, Taylor_Toxin, or hit me up on my cell phone, 505-670-8956. If that's too quick, reverse it. All right, guys. Deuces. Later, John.